Hello there. It's Mike.
And Katie. It's episode 104. What are we talking about today, Mike?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
This week on Cup of Rad.
Okay, hopefully that title didn't scare you. You're like, whoa, too early. It's never too early.
No.
So
it is too early at some point, but not now. Now it's not too early.
What we're doing is we got a few movies that are Christmas movies.
Semi-Christmas.
They take place at Christmas, but then they make you forget you're watching a Christmas movie and then remind you.
And then remind you. Oh, wait, it's Christmas. Oh, okay.
So, wow, not a lot's been really happening since last week. I've been busy working, so that's kind of taken up a lot of my time.
Yeah, it's weird.
So that's been kind of weird.
It's been kind of flying by here.
It's been really flying by. This week has just been boom. I haven't even taken any new photos. I just have not done anything.
Yeah. Mind melting.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's early mornings.
Routine for things, and early morning because he gets Mission Impossible. He's a secret spy, I've decided. And I'm telling this to the world now.
Well, yeah.
But he has to wait and get a call in the morning to find where he's going. And it's, he has to accept his mission. So I've told him, you need to. There's
a secret mission in Uncharted Space.
There's that too. But I don't know. It's the choose your mission. Here's your mission if you choose to accept it,
If you don't, you get dinged. So you're kind of no, you have.
But see, so he's my own little Ethan Hunt now.
Oh, okay. I guess I really have to start running.
Yeah, that's what I've told him. Now you need to run. Actually, he can run really fast, actually.
In spurts.
Hey, no one really needs to run that fast long term.
Apparently, as a secret agent, you do.
Even Tom Cruise likely only can sprint.
You got to run. He's got those 10-minute run scenes.
Yeah, true. Okay, never mind.
So before we spoil anything, though, but the Mandalorian, Bryce Dallas Howard had done her episode of that.
Yeah.
And that last episode 3, I think was pretty friggin' fantastic.
Well, that one, I was surprised, looking at the length of them. Episode 2 was actually longer than episode 3, yet episode 3 felt longer because more stuff happened.
Yeah.
And not longer in a bad way, longer in a, wow, it really moved the story along.
Yeah.
Episode 2 was a little bit more of it was slower paced and not a lot conclusion happened. It was definitely a moving towards episode 3 feel.
Yeah. But we didn't get our monster of the week though.
No, we didn't. We thought we were going to.
It looked like it was going to be a Jaws episode.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for.
With all the Mon Calamari, right? I was waiting for that. You're going to need a bigger ship.
Maybe they were saying that.
Yeah, we just
in the background. We'll just pretend like that. But there was homage to Apollo 13.
Yep.
Film in there, pretty much shot by shot almost, which was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome to see that she threw that in there for her dad. Which is
but I really like that episode for sure.
Yeah, I think she directed the one on the dog planet with the walkers and all that. So she definitely has a budding career in
some
action films for sure. Some pretty hardcore 2 really excellent episodes in this
definitely.
series.
She did a great job.
Still worth watching. I think it's a fantastic show, and just gets you excited for Star Wars in general.
Star Wars. So. I really do love the Mandalorian, the actual character.
Yeah.
He seems really interesting. He's such a good guy.
I like that they did finally able to recognize. Because we've seen Mandalorians take their helmets off in the cartoons, right? So it's interesting then to finally have had that recognized.
An explanation for it,
right?
Exactly.
Where he's from, where his section is, and all that.
Yeah. So that was interesting for sure. So I'm sure you already watching it. I'm curious to see what you guys thought on episode 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and I don't know much more.
There's not much more to talk about. Spoiling it because you know what?
It's still pretty early.
I know that people are really, really excited about it. Probably have watched it already, but you know what? If you want to have a conversation about it, that's because it's worth letting someone else see it, how it unfolds, and if you have a chance.
I think once the entire season is unfolded, then we can delve a little deeper into what we liked about things or what we're excited about.
Yeah.
because there's only going to be 8 episodes again, I think. So it's going to move by very quickly. It'll be done before Christmas. So
yeah, I'm really interested to see episode 4 and see where it leads, and if it's going to be another journey episode, which I'm assuming it will be.
Oh yeah.
I think, and I don't know how long they're going to string us along before we
until episode 8.
Yeah, until we get some conclusion, which I can foresee them doing.
The final 2 minutes of episode 8,
most likely. They know what they're doing.
Episode 3,
bastards.
Season 3 coming soon.
Yeah, right.
And then that.
So mean. So mean.
So we got an early Christmas present. Which was pretty awesome.
It was amazing.
It was fantastic, and it was much needed. Our television was starting to...
It whined.
Find its way.
It had a high-pitch capacitor whine.
Yeah. That
was always there, not just when it was on. And I realized that it's been probably drilling into my head for weeks now. And it was that constant fear of like, is it going to turn on tonight?
Or just pop off while we're in the middle of watching something.
Yeah.
So, we did an early Christmas. Your parents were nice enough to help us out.
Yes, parents got an early Christmas present for us, and we were able to get a new TV. We went from a 42-inch LCD that was now 14 years old.
Yeah.
Which has lasted amazing. I mean, the thing was a beast. It's so sturdy. It's gone through a couple moves. It's done an amazing job.
It still works. It just whines and the sound is going.
Yeah, the sound we were starting to have to turn up quite a bit
compared to the new TV.
And then having to get it over the whine as well was making it worse. Mm-hmm. So now we have a 55-inch LED.
Yeah,
and damn, it's big.
We were the biggest we could fit in our space.
Yeah,
and it is a behemoth, which will make movie time better, especially for being at home more, because we're still pretty much at home. Yeah,
I don't foresee us. We knew movies were not going to be anywhere in the near future, and I still see that happening.
Yeah.
And the sound, it's like when we're so used to having to like cut the sound in half from when we watch it for a movie to like bring it down so it doesn't blare when we turn it back on. Well, and now when you go try to do that, you hold down for a little bit and it just goes away. It's so low.
To watch Mandalorian, we were doing it at 42. We were doing it at about 18 on the new TV.
So we have a lot bigger range, and it's pretty incredible. And then loading up the Mandalorian, and it's listed on Disney Plus in the Ultra HD.
Yeah.
So
we got to actually experience those.
So we actually have the ability to view what it's allowed to be at, and broadcast at, which was just absolutely phenomenal.
New experiences, which is pretty awesome. So of course we watched really old movies on our first run.
I know, right? We're like, oh, this feels sacrilegious. So what do we? Well, before we had it, actually. No, we didn't. You're right. Our first movie on it was
Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Yep, that's
because we'd already made the plan to watch it.
Yep, we'd already made the plan,
and
because it's one of those movies that is. I was going to say it was accidentally Christmas, but it's not accidentally Christmas because the whole purpose is a Christmas present.
It's purposely Christmas.
So it is a Christmas movie, but it doesn't make you feel like it's a Christmas movie because
it has horror in it. So much horror.
So I remember when we watched this with kiddos years ago, and he just loved it and wanted everything Gremlins. Like he saw the NECA and he was like, I need a gizmo, and all this, right?
Yeah.
And then we hadn't watched it. Yeah, we ended up getting him the pop of Gizmo and Stripe just to kind of like
quell the beast, because we weren't going to get him a NECA action figure at the age he was at.
And but he'd forgotten, I think, about some of the scares in it, because it like spooked him a bit. He was just like, what?
Well, and I hadn't seen it for a long time now, because I remember at one point you had watched it with him when I was actually on a trip. And so I didn't remember a lot of those. Yeah. More of the intensity that is actually in it, and how horrible they are.
What actually happens, you go away, I show them things that are age inappropriate.
I know, right? And I'm suddenly totally the Gremlin's name, not a gremlin. Gizmo. The
Mogwai.
Mogwai. There we go. I don't know why I always want to say Mowgli, and I don't know why. Mogwai.
Mogwai, the original Baby Yoda.
Yes. The thing is adorable. Oh my goodness.
The puppet is fantastically adorable.
Right? And you feel so bad for him because he's just like constantly shaking his head like, these are not mine. I did not approve of this. They are monsters. Oh my goodness. Look what you guys did. You should have known better. Like, he willingly, as much as he's like, yeah, it sucks to leave, and be like, nope, these guys did not listen to the rules. I'm out of here. I'm not going to be responsible for chaos again.
Right.
So, he's so expressive.
Yes.
And it's
the puppetry in that movie is fantastic. It's one of those ones where it's just like, wow, this is good. Like,
yeah.
There's so much to like about the movie because it feels like it is just a straightforward kids movie, but it's a little edgier.
Yeah.
It's right on that line. This one came out around the same time as Temple of Doom when they only had PG and R.
Oh, okay. They had no PG-13 at the time?
Right. And these are the movies that, like, Temple of Doom and Gremlins are part of those, like, where the ratings board was like, we need a middle rating.
Okay.
We need to get a something
There's
else.
something because
because it's not R-rated, but it's not. And originally, too, apparently, when you dig into it, you find that it potentially was more horror-based. And then they started kidifying it a bit, not because they wanted it to fit a certain rating, it just fit the story and where they went with it, and they could be more silly with it.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
But
I love the scene in the bar. That's definitely the edgier, more adult scene too, which is just so funny. Like, all the different things that you look at them doing, and how they know how to do all of that is beyond me. They're all gambling, and they're just the way they're dancing, and they're just
because they ate after midnight.
They just absorb all the. Yeah, that was just interesting for sure. It's so funny. Like, I think I thought it was funny too with the neighbor there, the tractor and everything. Like, he seems like he knows about gremlins, and I love, I feel bad for him, but he just, when the gremlins are actually in his tractor, and he's just freaking out. And so it's just like the worst things that could possibly go wrong is what they represent, basically, right?
Exactly.
So.
Well, it's like the old stories of the gremlins that are in the, like he says, like in the World War II, like the planes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think at one point they were supposed to have been doing, I don't know if they're doing a series or another movie that was supposed to take place back in the World War.
Yeah.
That explained more about them or seeing them. Like, well,
and too with that, it's almost like that idea, because they spread so fast and they just keep going. They're hard to get rid of. And it's...
Can you imagine if one of those fell in the ocean?
Oh my goodness. That'd be terrifying.
Right?
But then the idea of just how the chaos itself compounds again and again and again, and how easy it is to get out of control, and little things and to big things, and it just keeps going and going and going. Yeah. Right. So
it's interesting because watching that and seeing all the silliness that's in, say, like the bar scene and too like that. Because I remember like when watching the second one, it just felt like so like crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, go back and watching this again, I'm like, it's pretty much the same stuff that happens. I think people forget about it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's Gremlins.
It's Gremlins. Some of the scares I think were pretty intense for being that it's PG.
Like Stripe melting.
Like right to the end.
Yes, because that's like burned in my mind as horrible. That thing is terrifying.
Skeleton.
And then the skeleton starts moving too, and it's still trying to, like, this puddle of goo, and it's just, that was terrifying. Yep. That overwrote everything.
Everything.
Like,
yeah. When the mother uses a blender.
That whole scene, yes.
When
the microwave.
The microwave. But the thing that's not really talked about is when she stabs at one, and for the entire scene, he's in the background writhing in pain.
Yep.
It's sitting there holding the knife, writhing.
Yep. It's actually really brutal.
Right?
And gruesome there, yeah.
But yet we say, hey, kids.
It's okay.
So it's really a starter horror.
Yeah.
We
it's little monsters, and they come across as
cute and cuddly,
as silly, right? And but yeah, it is definitely a starter horror for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, so yeah, Kiddo, he still really enjoyed it, but he definitely jumped a little bit more than I was expecting, which was quite fun.
Which is funny because I remember him watching it a few times when he was littler, right? Mm-hmm. And it shows then that the fear,
the comprehension and the fear, yeah,
catches up, and it's like, ah,
yep.
But no, yeah, it's accidentally horror because the entire not accidentally horror. It's like it's a Christmas movie. It literally is a Christmas movie. It takes place during the Christmas season. The entire thing. For that whole debate, if it is, because I saw online, is like, is Gremlins a Christmas movie? It is a Christmas movie because he's buying this as a present, as a Christmas present, and he can't wait, and he gives it to it early because it's a live animal.
Yeah.
And then the whole movie takes place around Christmas time.
You know what's funny? Okay, so the old lady, the bag of an old lady, she's horrible. She makes me angry. But being a Christmas movie, we're used to people like that feeling at some point we're like, they're going to learn their lesson, and they're going to be like, everything's going to be great because they're going to learn that they shouldn't be so horrible. And then she does not. She never learns her lesson. You realize that she just doesn't like people, and she's definitely a cat person because I didn't even recognize her at first. I was like, this cannot be the same lady at all. Like, after she died, you're like, yeah, that was so-and-so. What? She was just so nice around her cats. She just didn't like people. And, but she met such a horrific death. I mean, that was terrifying. So there was no happy Christmas ending for the old lady, nope. the angry old lady in there. That was quite different.
Well, especially because it was so much of the Ebenezer Scrooge at the very beginning.
Yeah, right? Like that's what it came across as.
It was like, no, she's a horrible person. She needs to die.
Mm-hmm. It's like, no, there's no lesson on that one. They're not going to change. It's just, wow.
The fun thing, too, with that movie is that everything was shot on lot. It was in Universal, and it was also at the Warner Brothers lot. And we got to see a couple of the houses. Yeah. We actually saw the house that the old lady shoots out of.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's kind of fun to see that because you can tell that it's shot on lot versus in a real place.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those ones where I miss seeing those in films where it's like the lot stuff because it's just there's something charming about it. Mm-hmm. Almost.
Well, yeah, when you see the whole thing, you're like, yeah, this is totally this.
Right.
You can tell it's all set up as, and for being those big shots of the city when he's walking through it, that's a lot to control, you know? So, especially, with the snow, right?
Yeah.
Kiddo, it was funny. He's like, when he's the guy is standing outside the girl after he brings her home. And it's snowing, and he's like, you can totally tell that's not real snow on him. Like, you can see it. And I was like, yeah, because it's not melting, but what are they going to do, right? Like,
yeah. Especially being in California.
Yes, there's that too. Yeah, it needs to stick around.
But yeah, add Gremlins to your Christmas watch list. It's totally fun. It's a great one.
It's perfect to a slight easing into the season.
As you slightly ease the Christmas in.
Yes.
There's an innuendo for you. Okay, so we needed to find something newer to watch for our new TV.
Yeah, it just seemed like we had to.
And what's better to watch than some high definition animation?
Yep.
And because one of our favorite films was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we decided to give that a look because it's a beautifully stunning film. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to watch it on the bigger screen again and the prettier picture. And I was able to make this one. It's a Christmas movie.
Totally.
So you slide that one in your Christmas pile.
Yeah.
Because there's snow. There's a snowman.
Yeah.
And there's a Spider-Man has a Christmas album.
Yeah, it's Spidey
Bells. And you can even find that. Like we found it on Spotify. We're listening to Spidey Bells today.
Yeah.
So Spidey Bells, whipping through New York.
It's such a good song. And it ends so sadly, but it's still such a good song.
I've got a degree
in chemical engineering. Just like, why did I agree to do this stupid song? If you haven't, please go look it up.
But there you go.
Hilarious.
It's a Christmas movie.
So now you're welcome.
We just made your day better because you're gonna go watch Into the Spider-Verse and be like, and if anyone says, "Hey, hold up, why are you watching this?" Be like, "It's snowing. There's a Christmas album in it. Totally a Christmas movie."
Yeah.
Right.
You're good. And oh my gosh, what a fabulous movie.
It still lives up to the hype.
And now with our new improved sound on our TV, damn.
Yeah.
We're
our poor cats
blowing the place up with our like intense party music going on.
Yeah. You know, one thing I commend that movie for, not only did they get to play with the animation style, they also were able to play with the music.
Yeah.
Because that soundtrack, the score in that film is so much more in depth and layered than any score really on a lot of things. Like
that I remember that really stuck with me when we saw it. It was like, wow, the music was also really
if
important.
you can, whatever you use to stream your music, look for it, because like we use Spotify, and by Daniel Pemberton, I believe, does the score, and that music, you gotta listen to that just raw, because that stuff is insanely good.
And then the soundtrack itself, I really enjoy it. Like I love it's a good gym workout soundtrack, and got a little bit of everything in it. It does such a good job of blend. I love the songs that blend into the movies and help move it along. Or if, with him like listening to it in the headphones type thing. And it was part of him, and it was so much of his essence was music. And that's what he used to calm down was music. And
also too, like when his intro at the beginning, when you're seeing him with his music, it's more real looking. Like he's not singing perfectly.
I know.
He's
love
kind of mumbling and
it's like because I noticed that I was like, wait, that's how it would really, like a lot of people are. You sing most of it, or you kind of miss some beats, especially a song that's a little bit more hip hoppy, right? And
you think you sound amazing because you got your headphones on.
Yeah, because you feel it in your head, right?
You're like, I'm awesome.
Well, the other day you were singing.
Yeah, I was.
You had your headphones on and you were kind of starting to sing. He was actually singing pretty good. He knew all the words, but it was still like, dude, I'm gonna need you to stop that. But that looked phenomenal on our TV.
Yeah, it's a great movie, and that animation alone is just fantastic.
We could see the texture on things, and it was there's so many. I love the different colors that they use for the animation and the different dimensions. I love the style. The story itself is just so well done. And
because what they tried to do is they tried to make it look like a comic book, and then they also did in areas where old comic books sometimes the color was off and it was misprinted, and you'd have the color slightly off, and it's just so artistically well done. Like the everything about that film was A+ material. Like,
right.
It deserved the hype. It deserved the awards. Like, it's a marvel of creativity, not just as a superhero story, but just a story of creativity that's driven by the art style versus anything else. And that art blends with the music and where it's coming from, right?
Yeah.
Well, I even found out that the horn of the Prowler is supposed to be is actually an elephant. It's not a horn.
Yeah, that was cool,
right?
Because it's such a unique sound, and then when you said that, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Like I know Pemberton talked about using scratch tables while he was recording as well with everything, and mixing different sounds and getting to really play. And I think that's something that really kind of stands some of the music out. Yeah. Even like when we go back to Mandalorian, there's some really standout stuff with that. That's got some of the best soundtrack in a lot of things.
Speaking of that, because Kiddo was practicing his clarinet, and you had said that at one point the few notes that he had just kind of squawked out, it sounded a little bit like Mandalorian feel, right? So then I was curious to look at just sheet music for Mandalorian and kind of see what it kind of looked like, right? And I found some trivia that it said that the artist had actually started he started building the Mandalorian music just using a recorder. It was just super simple, and because that song has a simple bass to it. And that's when he originally just started out. Just started with the recorder, which I thought was quite funny.
So there you go. So you can play it on the clarinet then once you figure it out.
I know, right?
I'll be upstairs. I'll be doing stuff, and all of a sudden that one day I heard that I'm like, what? I'm answering the call. Where's my mask?
That's funny. Well, yeah, because it's always fun to do that. Kind of just, kind of go back and forth without tonguing notes, right? And so that's exactly what it is. Right? Yeah. So through the floor and everything. It's just, that's how it sounded. So. Yep. But yeah, again, beautiful, beautiful film.
So would you say that is a Christmas movie? Because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Because especially the snowman. I had forgotten about the snowman.
Right.
And that
Peter
is
B.
hilarious.
Parker, where's a snowman?
There is a kid in a Spider-Man costume dragging a homeless corpse along the road.
Why did I have to get the busted ass janky hobo Spider-Man?
Right. It's just there's so much good humor and so much heart in it. I can't even say
and
how much I
communities in it,
love.
so you know.
Then there's that. Most important thing. Troy's in it.
Troy shows a little cameo.
Yeah. I'll let you figure out where that is. Spider-Man. Speaking of Spider-Man, though, another test that we did for TV is you turned on your Spider-Man video game.
Oh yeah, and forever. And it took like an hour to do a download.
But you would. The lines for the size of, I mean, first off, New York was huge on the big TV.
It's actually because we maybe made a little bit of a mistake. We're a little close.
It's so big.
We're a little close.
I mean, well, it's a 13-inch difference suddenly, and but the detail on the building was phenomenal. And then there's detail in the suit you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So it was just like, wow, it's not blurry or anything. You can see you're way up high on these skyscrapers, and you dive down into the streets, and you can see things really well. So that was kind of fun to see.
Right now, I just gotta get the Miles Morales one.
Kiddo's Animal Crossing is a little
overwhelming
in your face. I usually play it on the handheld too, so then when I had it on the TV, I was like, oh my god, so much Animal Crossing.
Because our room, I guess, isn't as big as I thought it was.
He was just excited it fits in the space. It will happen.
We had the present money, so it worked.
No, I know.
And you gotta have to turn your head once in a while when you're playing a video game. So that doesn't really help because you're like, wait, where am I?
I am being enveloped.
Whoops. Get used to it.
It'll be fun.
They paused it this morning on the Disney animation screen. So it's just the Mickey Mouse.
The white screen.
It's white background with the Mickey Mouse on it, right? We're setting up for breakfast and we're going to watch DuckTales. And the room was pretty much dark still. And it just lit the entire room. I looked up from the table when I was about to have breakfast and my eyes hurt.
That's so blinding.
And it's even on the power save mode still too. It's not even on the vivid
like
or anything
the
like that
or anything.
Yeah, it's on the power save mode. I'm just like, da-dong. It's like those old Maxwell commercials where the speaker blows you back. It's just your retinas are burning.
That's one thing. The screen is reflective. Our LED was matte, and so that's changing our light setup in our room though, because we don't need it though. We don't need a light apparently, because we had one that was sitting behind us on the couch that was just this little thing. But now
you can't see the TV.
Now it's right because the TV is lower than it used to be. The actual bar of the TV used to block the light, and now it's right in the middle of the TV screen. So now we can't use that. So kind of changing things up a little bit. All good problems to have, but still, we don't need a light. We just have the TV itself. Good stuff.
But we never ever talked about. We still haven't answered those questions about hand casting, and it's not that we've forgotten about them. We're still thinking about it.
I forgot about them.
Okay, well, I hadn't forgotten about it, so because this guy's awesome.
Too much decisions.
But you know what? Here, we're gonna give you a taste of one of the answers to that right now before we go into our final Christmas movie. Because it ties back to Community. Thundercats, we're just going to cast the entire cast of Community in the Thundercats movie.
Yeah.
So you're going to get Troy as Lino, Abed as Tegra.
Obvious.
You're going to get Britta as Wile E. Cat. And you're going to get... Oh, it's been so long, I can't remember his name now.
Chevy Chase character?
No. Joel McHale's.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Right? Oh, we forgot it. Hey, that's sad. Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay, well, while I'm looking it up, the Dean will be Mumra. And,
We only just know Troy and Abed.
And
in the morning, because that's all that matters, because they're the best.
It's Jeff. I was going to say Jeff, and I didn't. Yeah.
You just apparently forgot about Jeff.
Yeah, I forgot about Jeff.
Pierce is the other one that I was seeing.
Yeah, Chevy Chase, he'd have to be... No, I still think he should be a mutant.
Yes. He should be like Slythe.
He's going to be Slythe. Yeah. And Allison Breed would be... her Annie character would have been... Chitara.
I was going to say, she's got to be Chitara.
Right. And then Shirley is Panthro.
That would be awesome. Because she's like level-headed.
Yeah.
But also like intense when she's... So that actually fits really well.
And as we've watched the show, we've realized that he does do lots of guilt trips.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so.
If you hadn't gone out in the forest, you wouldn't have broken my thunder. Right?
Yep.
And then, so then you've got Chang. He would be probably Monkeyan or Jackalman.
Yeah.
One of
what
those.
About so Wily Cat's the only one we don't know.
No, that'd be Jeff.
Jeff. Oh yes, Wily.
Right?
Wily
because
Cat.
the weird
tension and Prita. Yes.
Yeah, that weird tension.
The weird thing
where you
about
don't know
them.
if they're like siblings or if they're actually like together.
Yeah.
Because they're just in their own little world and they bicker back and forth.
I like it.
And they're always going places,
and they're
right?
always together, right?
Yeah. So, I guess the other thing would be is that actually Chase would be Mumra. Pierce would be Mumra, and then the Dean would be
one of the mutants.
Slythe.
I don't know if he could be Slythe. Yeah, I guess.
And then Chang would be like Jackalman.
Yeah.
And then Leonard would be like Monkeyan.
Oh, yeah.
And then just because it's keeping kind of like on that thing, then you get John Oliver as Ian Duncan. He'd be the Vulture because he thinks he's better than everyone else.
Yep, and then he just shows
shouldn't
up
be
once
there,
in a while,
right?
too.
Yeah, right. So there you go.
Yeah, that totally fits for Vulture right there. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
yeah. He's trying to just he asserts his will whatever he wants to and thinks he's better.
Yeah,
I like it.
So, and then Jaga. I don't know who Jaga would be.
Speaking of Thundercats, we did watch. It was a 5-part Thundercats Ho movie.
That is true. We did.
Yeah, and that was
weird.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there.
Okay, so Thundercats Ho, it was supposed to go to theaters. It was supposed to be an entire movie as a theater experience, but then the realization that the G.I. Joe and the Transformer movie just didn't do as well in theaters the way that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So they pulled it, and it was supposedly the start of the second season. And it makes no sense.
No, it does not.
It really, there's that moment where the show is starting to show that as good as it is, and as good as messages there's a lot of like, kids are going to just watch this out of order. It's going to get syndicated and it's going to play however it wants, and maybe they're not they're not as bright as we think they are.
Yeah.
And they won't care because like literally we have the fact that Mumra has died, or we have placed it
he's
together.
He's supposed to have defeated his enemy, right? And he turned into like nothingness. So
then all of a sudden in this, he's back.
And he's gathering all these other villains. The one that was also dead and was turned,
Right? It was a ghost at one point.
We don't even know where he came from.
He was a ghost in an episode. Yeah. Hammerhand has his crew back and is alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got villains that they fought in space. They didn't even fight on Third Earth.
Yep. And then are suddenly there and working with Mumra and like...
And then there's it's the introduction to the new Thundercats.
Yes.
Pumera,
the Linkso,
and Bengali,
I think.
Yeah, Bengali.
Yeah,
the snow tiger dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
the white version of Tigra, because he looks the exact same, except for he's just white. There's no design difference at all about him.
Well, when he gets his outfit at the end,
tiger,
he's got like.
But yeah, they show
Road Warrior look. So there's no
Right?
And then it's just like a who's gallery of like, you know, Snowman shows up and everything. Like it's just a
like
schmozzle.
Well, honestly,
everything.
and some of the battles are kind of boring. Like I kind of tuned out on some of them because they weren't that exciting, and it was just like, okay, so when are we gonna move through and like have them actually meet the Thundercats?
Yeah.
Like,
well, then we found out that the Thundercats are in a race. They're Thunderans.
yes,
I totally spaced on that through the whole thing. That's
yeah.
the
It was weird
Thundercats
because
are
they
like
said
the
no,
nobles.
we're not Thundercats. So it's like it's strange because he said they were Thundercat nobles, and yet Thundercats seem to refer to a special group of them, Thunderans. But then also, were they literally the only living things on the Earth, their planet? Right?
I guess
they have to be because
maybe because the other mutants are from Plundar.
Yeah.
Right.
So we don't refer to ourselves as Earthlings.
Apparently,
unless we're in space, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were just like Thunderans, and that was it.
Yep. Now we're Earthlings.
Weird. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to do to become a community, a world-minded community. We're just Earthlings.
We're Earthlings. Yeah. More people should think like that. But we won't get on that soapbox.
But yeah, so. And we refrained from watching more because the next is another 5-episode Mumra Lives.
Yeah, so even though he was in those last 5 episodes, yeah, by the way,
he's going to live.
He's alive now.
In the next one, so who knows what happened. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It was just like a real trip. Like it felt like some of the like when we watch like the Sailor Moon or the Dragon Ball movies where they don't really fit in the continuity. Yeah. They're just a movie.
Yeah.
Right. And you're just like, deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was been interesting. So,
from that, then we have our final Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So, okay. So here's a fun story. Well, it's not that fun actually, but guess what? You're here. It lasted this long and this many episodes. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for that. It's our gift to you. We went to go watch a movie.
Enjoy this weird little story.
So we talked about wanting to do some like weird, bad Christmas movies. It wasn't a Hallmark one that we went for. We went for something that kind of had some horror elements. And the description sounded fantastic. It's one of those ones where we're like, the description alone needs to be remade into a better movie.
Well, because the description was that these cosplaying girls accidentally awaken Krampus and they have to team up with Santa to defeat him.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
So that sounded amazing. Right? So we started watching it. We didn't finish it. We got 5 minutes in and I said, I'm turning it off.
Well, because first off, the credits looked like we were watching a kid's movie.
On like a family
Trolls.
channels kind of thing, like a family channel.
I've never heard you react so quickly. I think within 30 seconds of the actual movie starting, you said, no, I can't do this.
Okay, the first, okay, I'm okay with swearing. If you listen to the podcast, we know we're okay with swearing. The first word in the show was an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. It was the first thing said.
Yeah.
That's how it started. In like a flash forward scene.
Yeah. And then we tried to hold off.
We held on for a little bit, but it just felt, like a bad porn.
Yes, I felt like we were watching. I felt like we were watching porn.
Yeah,
that was going to start in like this bad story.
The bad acting was.
Yeah, and you're like, no, I can't wait for more things to happen. I can't deal with this.
And then there was so much swearing for no reason.
Badly acted swearing. Yes, and completely.
They were just like the team, like 20-somethings, just happy to drop the F-bomb.
And it was too
because they smiled when they said it. Right?
Yeah, and it was too pretty done to be such a sloughed off as a bad like C-rated movie type thing.
That was like a Z-rated movie.
I know, but like the idea where like it should have been cheesier and look more cheap than it actually came across.
It was newer. It was only like from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so you can tell like they had money and graphics and all that stuff and like weird graphics and everything and like no.
So we
so this is I'm gonna turn this off. We're gonna watch Die Hard. F this shit.
Well, it was one of those moments where it was like, if I'm going to watch someone swear, I'm going to watch where it's placed properly.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Swearing can be used if placed properly, but what if it's just used as a normal conversation? It didn't make me like these people
No.
It didn't make me feel like I wanted to find out what was going to happen.
Yeah.
They just felt like horrible individuals right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, like, it wasn't even like, there was nothing about it that was like made me feel interested about their lives enough to be like, I want to know how they're going to raise Krampus and have to somehow connect with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
It just felt like...
So the movie was called Sleigh Bells, S-L-A-Y.
Maybe it gets better.
L-L-E-S. If you can handle the swearing and the bad porn feel.
It might get better, but I just, I didn't want to spend the time.
But if you're interested in wanting to see what it's like.
It was on Amazon Prime.
But you know what? I recommend save your time and watch Die Hard.
Die Hard. Because it's a Christmas movie.
It is.
It's a full, no matter what anyone says, even though Bruce Willis said it's not a Christmas movie, it's a Christmas movie.
Yep. He puts a Santa Claus hat on someone.
He
writes ho, ho, ho.
Right. It's a Christmas party. It's supposed to be Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Right? But also, who has their party on Christmas Eve for a big corporation like that?
People who don't care that they have families.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense then being Japanese because it's all about family.
Well, Santa Claus is like that too. His Christmas party is on Christmas Eve.
That's American company.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Soul sucking.
I work for big company.
They would do that and screw you in a heartbeat.
They were like, yeah, we'll let you off at, 4 on Christmas Eve, but make sure you're here all the earlier on.
Thanks, Scrooge.
That's something. We love all these Christmas carols and we see all these things. We're always like the idea of like coming around and realizing that there's more to life and all that. Like all these movies and TV shows. And we make all these Scrooge and the big business and all that. But it's amazing how much the big business just is like, that's awesome. But can you get here at 4 a.m. on Boxing Day? Because we need you to set up for all the sales.
Yeah, because we look at all of that and we say that everything else matters, but money still controls
Mr. Krabs comes out.
Yep. Money. Anyways.
There's our little Christmas soapbox rant. Might hear it more times. I don't know.
Oh, it'll show up again.
But at least maybe this year will be different.
Yeah.
Black Friday sales are happening weekly.
You're free of retail boxing.
Oh, I know.
He's been free from retail boxing for many years, but still.
But
this is why he refused to go back into retail is because of Boxing Day. Yeah. I really, truly believe that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And well, just the fact that it was just like assumed, things had to be cheaper.
And especially too, if you want to get up higher ranks for supervisors and everything, and it you can't bow down out of Boxing Day stuff. So
it takes your soul.
Yeah.
A little piece of you dies every time you open a box.
So sad.
Passes something to a person.
Cup of sadness.
When you're all like, with your little bag at the register and you got to smile at people and just like, Merry Christmas. And then they might get offended, and then you could go, Happy Holidays!
And then they get offended because why didn't you say Merry Christmas?
And then you're just like, you don't say anything. They're like, why didn't you say anything? I don't know. I'm stoned. I don't know. I'm high.
Mike's in a weird place right now.
I know. But, anyways, Christmas movie, Die Hard. Die Hard. Probably still one of the best action movies ever.
Yes.
Because it's fantastic. It was like Bruce Willis's like breakout action because he was known for more like romantic comedy. Besides that,
he was in romantic comedies before that.
Well, that TV show Moonlighting and a few things like that. Like it was more, this was like his first foyer because everyone else turned it down.
Yeah,
right. Schwarzenegger turned it down. Stallone turned it down, and eventually they got in. They were like,
I can't imagine them in that role.
I can't imagine Schwarzenegger trying to climb through a vent.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, he ain't gonna fit through that.
Like just that alone, you're just like, no.
That vent does not look standard.
And then because the story of Die Hard is based off a novel, and that novel was actually a sequel to something called The Detective. The Detective was actually a movie that Frank Sinatra did in 1968, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And this here, the writer of that was writing a sequel after he saw Tower Inferno.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, hey, what if I put my detective character in a, tower with terrorists trying to steal. And so the story of that actually took place over 3 days, apparently. And then he was dealing with his daughter, not his ex-wife or separated wife. So a lot got changed to make it into the Die Hard movie, right? Because they used it and then they kind of like morphed it into their own thing.
Yeah.
So and then we have the movie that everyone loves, Die Hard.
Nice,
right? Because like who doesn't like the idea of being kind of like the grizzled everyman that is able to save the day?
Yeah.
Right. Like who doesn't look at that and be like, I could climb through a vent.
Yeah.
I could tie a hose around and jump off. How cool would that be?
Oh, that was every single time. That still freaks me out when he's going to get launched out and pulled. It's like time has to stop as he's trying to.
I like though that it's not like in like nowadays if we were making that.
Oh, he would. It would have been
that
around.
Zip. Yeah. That super zipping like. Feel. Yeah. This was like that slow like draw like the
yeah, you're like looking and you like see the edge and I could feel myself
because the
giant ass TV pulling back a little bit like don't follow the ledge right? You know
like, what's gonna happen too once he goes over because the way it's shot, right?
Yeah.
And that thing's just gonna rip
I
down.
like too that when he jumps off of it he doesn't just go smashing through the window because he wouldn't have enough force to break through a high-rise window. Right. That's not supposed to be that way. Otherwise birds would be hitting it and breaking, right? Like, so I like that he actually has to shoot it out and fracture it before he can actually get into it. And so
there's like a lot of realism in that movie that you take for granted for an action movies because the fight scenes are long and brutal and like
bloody.
Even just like the shooting of people, it's not just a really single shot as much. It's like unloading clips and missing both sides.
Yeah, they're not just like headshots and done and easy.
Right. And it's so well done and it still is well done. Like I can see why it's a classic.
I love the villain because he's there and he's trying to, it seems more like he's trying to like teach the company a lesson with the way he spouts off about the CEO and he knows so much about him and it's like he acts like he has a vendetta against them and then when he's he shows but he's giving false information to the FBI about demands and to the police and so he's doing all this stuff and then it really is just a very high profile heist.
Yeah.
And it's so well planned and I love that feeling. Like I think about it as like if that actual Die Hard was a book, it would be great to be able to read. The idea of a heist movie like that it's that Ocean 11 type feel where they plan all those things and they have to figure out those contingencies like the fact that he planned for the FBI to get there and he was waiting for it. That was part of it. And he does enough research to know that this is what they're going to do and he uses that against them and it's just I like that. So it makes him a really interesting villain. You still are happy that he goes flying off the building and you're like, you totally deserve it. But kudos to how close you got, I mean, mass chaos, horrible destruction, so much damage, but kudos.
Nowadays, someone would hear that and they'd like rewrite a movie and tell it from Gruber's side.
Totally.
And then make him sympathetic. And then you're going to be like super sad that.
And then they would ruin the awesomeness that is Die Hard.
But someone's going to do it now. Someone's going to do it. Someone's going to be like sitting there, be like, you know what? What if we told everything from Gruber's side?
I want you to shut your mouth. Because you know what? I love that McClane is not a bright and shiny guy, yet he's still very much the hero. Yeah. And you still clearly see that he's a hero because he's a good guy through and through. He cares not. He's not just trying to save his wife. Yeah. He's saying, there's 30 hostages in here. We got to save everyone. He's trying to figure out their behavior because the way the FBI is portrayed in this is hilarious. They're just a bunch of buffoons that are just like crazy with power. Yeah. And
they're portrayed that way pretty much through the entire series though.
Oh yeah. Right. I know. But I'm like, that series, right? He's trying to think about why they're acting and the way they're doing. And it shows that he is a good policeman.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, he's a good character. He's such an awesome character.
Right.
So.
And that's why the movie spawned how many sequels? You know, good or bad.
Which we decide we have to watch them.
I was watching. I was like, well, I think we need to watch them do a whole Die Hard marathon.
Because the only one I really remember is Die Hard 3.
I think everyone remembers.
And everyone will remember that one, right? So
because it's like for me, that's the second. I like that one.
Yeah.
As much as it I was looking at the Rotten Tomato scores, and apparently it's like it goes 1, 4, 2, 3, 5.
Something like that.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, it ties back, 3 ties back to 1 here. Yeah. And then it has got Samuel Jackson in it.
Right. And that makes it better. You put Samuel Jackson in anything, it makes it better.
And solving riddles and puzzles like that is super interesting to me too. So
one thing I thought about too was they should have saved A Good Day to Die Hard as not the 5th movie. They should have come up with another movie name title for that. And I've decided they needed to make A Good Day to Die Hard as the final, the absolute final, when John McClane has dementia and Alzheimer's and is in an old folks home, and he thinks all the orderlies are terrorists.
This would be so horrible.
So he flips the switch. It's like the whole Batman thing. You either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Yeah. So he's going around killing orderlies and nurses.
He's just hallucinating everything. Everyone is all the bad guys. And
he thinks he's a good guy, and he's this old grumpy man with his walker.
Because it would be awesome. Because you're like, I kind of don't want to root for him, but
it's John McClane.
He's John McClane, and he's kicking ass, and this is interesting. Because then if you see it from his side, then you flip the switch and do that side of it. Yep. Fly at it, people.
Because it's going to be awesome, too, because he's not really going to be succeeding. He's going to think he's killing people, but he's just actually just hitting them with a walker, and they're just falling down. Yeah. And it's gotten to that point where, the doctors are like, just let the fantasy play out. So you're able to create that weird blurred reality thing. Yeah. One moment you see him, he's kicking ass in his mind, but in reality it's just this old man with a walker.
Yep. So it's okay,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that much of a monster.
Killing, slaughtering order. I don't know. Well, originally when he talked about it came across that he was actually going to be killing everyone in the hospital. So
I toned it
down. Glad for clarifying.
Yeah.
Because at first it was going to be a full blown horror movie. I was kind of okay with it too, but.
And it would be a good day to die hard because he'll fall, he'll break his hip, and then he'll have a heart attack.
Yeah, and then he'll be at peace,
and then he'll whisper that line, "Yippee-ki-yay!"
So you said this was Alan Rickman's breakout Hollywood.
Yeah, he'd been in other stuff over in Europe, TV and movie and play, and this was his first.
Yeah,
over here.
I love that he. When him and John McClane meet on the roof, that he drops his accent so quickly, and what a different person he comes across as.
So that scene was all created after Rickman was hired.
Oh, okay.
Because the crew writing and the director wanted to showcase his ability, because they had actually found him through a play, and they were like, we got to get this man in movies.
Because he's awesome.
He ends up they when they found out he could do impressions and all that, they were like, how can we work this into it? And they rewrote those scenes, they recreated scenes,
nice,
so that he could showcase a bit.
I think that's really cool because it shows how well he can adapt to a situation. Because if you're gonna be a master thief like that, you would have to too, right?
Exactly. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it's a weird thing to think of, when Hollywood was trying to use it almost more as a look how great this dude is, you need to give him more work,
right?
You don't really see that as much, right?
No,
to showcase their abilities, within the same movie.
Take advantage of what all they can do
because you see him in this film, you see him as calm and collective, angry and aggressive. You see the ability to mimic and blend, right? So it was interesting that you see so many sides to Gruber. It's not just one, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what makes him so interesting of a character, right? So,
do you have any favorite moments otherwise?
I I don't know if I have any, other than the stereotypical moments, with McLean.
Yeah.
But I do like the heart that he shares with, is it Al? I like their relationship that they build because they're two cops that understand they're so reality based. You know, they're very much of a realistic approach, very obviously altruistic and want to do the best and look out for everyone, paying attention to different things and just trying to keep each other's back and keep each other going. And I like that connection that they're able to make. It's very heartwarming, right? Yeah. So I like that. But a lot of it is a stereotype for sure. I like too when he, like at the end, the way he thinks about, okay, well, I got 2 bullets. How am I going to make sure I make those count? And that surprise, I like that you don't know what his plan is. Yeah. And you think that, like, you see him and you see the tape and you're like, why the hell did it focus on tape? Like, how is this going to help anything? So some of those surprise moments are fun. So what about you?
No, the whole movie.
Everything about it.
It's Die Hard.
And that's what I was going to say.
Die Hard.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like it's so well done.
How many dudes out there or whoever's are out there going Die Hard? Right? It's like Friends, right? They're like Die Hard.
I know. What's so funny is that now has been connected with it too, where it's like, they're like Joey and Chandler. Yeah, I agree. I understand.
Die Hard. Right? Like, and it's a quintessential because it starts off, it's a Christmas movie. Then it makes you forget that it's a Christmas movie because of all that's going on. You're just like, it's an action movie. And at the end, Christmas movie hits in again with the credits and the Christmas music, right? Yeah,
you're like, just like, in case you forgot.
It's a Christmas movie. So if you put that on, everyone's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're like, Christmas movie. Yep. Cup of Red, stamp of approval. Yep. Christmas movie. Yep. Gremlins, stamp of approval. Christmas movie. Spider-Verse, Christmas movie. You're set. You got your weekend.
What is with the crazy long-haired blonde dude that got strangled and hung and then magically showed up in like this crazed monster like attack? That was terrifying.
It was Al's redemption.
It was Al's redemption.
That's all it needed to be.
Yeah. But damn, that guy was a beast.
That was scary.
He was
because that was one of those fights ensemble that was just brutal, like just beating on each other as they go on the stairs and all that, and then he strangles them with a chain.
Down. He was, 20 feet in the air, hanging.
Isn't he under like a cloak or something? So didn't they think he was dead? But I don't know how he got his gun, because that would be the stupidest thing if the cops were like, "Let's take this dead body, just put his gun on his chest, he's good."
Yeah, I don't know. So. But yeah, that was a good kickoff to the Christmas season.
Right? That's how we start the Christmas year, right?
Die Hard!
Well, because I was realizing too, though, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of Christmas movies that we like. In the last couple of years, we've had to pick and choose more of like what we're going to watch and when we're going to watch them. And I'm like, why don't we just start early? Yeah. Start getting that season vibe in. Get that Christmas movie.
Mike's really gotten into it. We've created a Cup of Red Christmas playlist. Yeah. And now Christmas music was actually already starting to show up.
Yeah, well, because we don't have a CD stereo upstairs. Yeah. So we just have our Spotify. Yeah. So I'm like, instead of like picking all these weird ones, I was like, why don't we just make an actual list of music we like, even if it's like a bazillion songs.
But it's kind of fun because then you get caught up on some of those Spotify playlists that are just like, oh my god, this is
what is this
music.
next
Yeah, so
then we created our own so that we can just have it play. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Why not enjoy it? It's not like we're gonna be too hardcore, and then we get the pretty lights and we'll decorate and
for the TV and the Christmas lights in the house. We won't need any lights for a month and a half. It'll be great.
Not a bad idea. Yeah. But we'll be looking at probably some more, maybe some Christmas. I don't know.
We're going to try to look at some of the weird Christmas, like, weird movies. I don't know. We'll see if
after that last one, I don't know.
So we'll see. Otherwise, it might be just like cheesy Hallmark movies. There we go.
We might have to we'll see what happens.
I don't know if I can make that decision.
We have enough ones we actually like. We might have to just start.
Maybe I could find some of those ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of, or there might be something.
You know what? We're going to be here sometime next week with some other movies talking about something. I can promise you that.
Oh, hey, you know what? There's something we haven't talked about.
Okay.
This is not Christmas based, but...
So that is the end of our Christmas segment.
Lady of the Night. Lady of the Night. That's how we should do it.
Yes.
Supernatural's ending.
Yes.
And the last episode came out, episode 19. And we watched that.
Was it 19? I thought it was 18.
No, it was 19.
Okay.
19, 20, 21 is this Thursday.
Okay.
Episode 19 came off. And by damn it, that was a good episode. I
think that was one of my best. Like, okay, we have watched Supernatural. It's been a part of our life for 15 years. The idea of it ending was like,
how's it going to go?
Are you going to be able to do it justice? I mean, it's been a little touch and go the last couple seasons, easily, where it's like just kind of limping along.
Yeah.
And we were trying to make theories of how it was going to end, and we were really worried. And damn, I was so satisfied with that ending.
I was, yeah. And what's sad though is that there's still 2 episodes. One appears to be a clip show.
And then it's like, why did they have little clips at the end of this last episode?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do for the last 2. And I'm kind of stuck about wanting to watch it and not wanting to watch it.
Right. Like, because it gave you the Cowboys in the Sunset feel.
Yeah. So I'm
as much as I had my own ways of how I thought it should go.
It did great.
This I was like, oh, I like it. I dig it. Yeah. I feel like it's ended.
It ties up. So let's pretend this. It's ended. Now we're just going to watch the unnecessary bonus features. Don't actually change it. Maybe it's an alternate ending. Maybe it's deleted scenes, but it is not the actual real thing.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. Well, it's going to have to be pretty huge.
I don't know how else it could.
Up.
Yeah,
like
because I'm afraid they might ruin it.
Yeah, right.
So it's not the real thing. It's bonus features, deleted scenes, alternative endings. That's all it is. It's the.
I'll be curious to see then your thoughts next week if it'll change. If you're okay for it.
Or if I'm like, damn it, they should have used the alternate ending.
But yeah, I think episode 19 did a really good job of wrapping things up, and I felt very satisfied.
Yeah,
which was surprising because there's been so many shows where I'm just like, I
don't even remember the end of Smallville.
He flew off.
Yeah,
to be Superman.
Yeah, I guess, but still, like. But yeah, something like this. It had so many, it got into such a cosmic level.
Yeah.
To be able to wrap it up and to really care and be okay with it was pretty big. So we'll see.
Right.
But yeah, there we go. That was little smidgen. Not Christmas, but that's okay.
Well, but see, that's the episode. It's starting to look
like Christmas.
Right? It's starting.
Yeah.
You're just, as you said, you're easing it in.
There was rock music in the episode. Just one song, but it was like, it was better.
Throwback.
It made me happy. It was that, yeah. But
there you have it.
So the next week we'll have a little bit more, a little bit farther in towards Christmas.
Right? Not just the...
I so badly want to say it, but I won't. And if you're awesome, like we know you are, you'll figure
shout
it out, and you'll just shout it wherever you are, because that's the best part of Couple Rad, just randomly shouting things in public.
Yeah, I hope you do that,
and I hope that you fill in the blank.
Yep.
And on that note, Mike.
Oh, I want to give a shout out there to Adam Neeson. He had a little short film called Black and White. He posted it on all his socials, and I saw today that it's going to a little bit of a film festival thing.
That's awesome.
So super awesome, dude. Keep it up. Look forward to seeing your Trespass once hopefully you get back to filming it because of COVID and all that. So awesome work. And everybody else, everyone that's listening and keeping us with downloads, we appreciate you. It's awesome that you allow us to sneak in your ears every week.
Yeah, it means a lot.
So thank you, dudes. Stay rad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!